What's happening, everyone? Welcome back to the workshop. Hope you guys are keeping well. Now the festive season is upon us again. Christmas time, my favourite time of the year. So I'm batching out some Christmas decorations. Some Christmas trees and some Christmas stars, and these are nice, simple and easy to make. So in this video I'm going to show you how to make these really quickly. There's no calculations, there's no math, there's no geometry involved, just a couple of simple angles, and I'll show you how to make these stars at any size as well without having to do any drawings or any calculations. You can make these any size you want. I'll show you that in this video. It's a nice, simple easy trick, and like I said, you can batch out loads of these. A couple of simple jigs and you're ready to go. So yeah, without further ado guys, let's get on and make some Christmas trees and some stars. Let's do it. Okay guys, so the first thing we're going to do is build this Christmas tree. Now I've made a couple out of just nice simple pine already. You can make these out of anything you want. So I've just prepared some red oak. So I've salvaged some old red oak flooring that I pulled out of a skip. And I'm actually going to use this now to make some of these Christmas decorations. So that's what I have, just some pieces of red oak. So without further ado, let's get to the miter saw. Let's get making these. They're nice, quick and simple. Let's do it. Okay, we're at the miter saw. Very first thing we're going to do is set our miter saw to 30 degrees. So right there, and we can leave it there then for the entirety of the Christmas tree. That's about 30 degrees there. Happy days. Okay, next thing to do is set up a stop block for repeatable cuts. So I have this one set to about 150 millimeters. That's about 6 inches. I'm going to make this one slightly smaller than the pine one. You can make these any size you want. I'll show you how you get all your measurements now in a second, but just pick a measurement for your boards. So we need 5 the same and 1 shorter. I'll show you how you get that short one as well. You don't even need a measuring tape for that. You just subtract the width of your material. So let's cut 5 of these. We're set at 30 degrees. Okay, that's our 5 pieces cut. Now for our 6th piece, it needs to be a little bit smaller, and it just needs to be smaller by the thickness of our material. So we don't have to take any measurements here. Just take our next piece that we want to cut, take one of our pieces that we've already cut, put that between the stop block. That gives us the exact width of this material here. Take that out of the way and make that cut. And that's all your 6 pieces. There we go, piece number 6. No measuring required. Right, all our 6 pieces are there. This is how they go together. So here is our short one. That goes against that piece just like that. These ones just go inside here and here, and these two go inside here and here. Now, that's it. That's essentially the tree. So you can see 5 pieces the same length, 1 short one because it sits inside of this piece. Now I'm just going to glue and brad nail this together, and once it's together then we can measure the distance that we need for our bottom piece, cut that again at 30 degrees, we'll stick that together, and then we can cut the foot. Nice, quick and simple. Okay, I'm just measuring in 25 millimeters and squaring a line across. It just gives me a line to work to. That's on the inside of each one of these pieces, so I can see exactly where I need to set this up for my brad nails. Okay, let's assemble this together. You can see I have my line squared across here. So that just allows me to line my pieces up. So I'm just going to put a bit of glue on it. Small bit of glue. Sit that right on the line. So I can see my line, that's nice and square. Just work that piece right up to the line. Hold it there and just shoot through a brad nail. If you don't want to use brad nails, you can just clamp these pieces, wait for the glue to set up, and if you don't want to be looking at these. But for the expediency and for the sake of this video, I am just going to be using brad nails. And then let's just shoot our top piece together and we're good to go. Lovely, just like that. So there is our tree now ready. So that allows us now to measure for our base piece. So that's exactly what I'm going to do now. We're going to measure from bottom edge to bottom edge. That is 330 millimeters exactly. So we'll cut that piece. Okay, just went to the miter saw, cut 2 more pieces. So that's our piece, 330 millimeters. That's for our base. So these angles are again all 30 degrees. Once your miter saw set 30 degrees, you do not have to change it for the entirety of this build. Just be careful because these 2 angles are going in opposite directions, unlike these, or these are just cut, cut, cut. So you've got to flip this piece around and make sure that your angles are splayed away from each other. And then we just cut a little base piece, same thing again, angle that way, and let me see if I get this on camera, there you go. So angle that way, and that will just go on there like that, and that's our base piece. Again, this is all 30 degrees. So, bit of glue on these both sides now, and some brad nails into that. And this tree is almost done, apart from a bit of finish and whatever you want to put on it yourself. Lights, that kind of thing. I have a center mark here, center mark there. Line the 2 of those up. A few brad nails again. A little bit of glue. Just like that. Lovely. Okay guys, there's a tree whipped up. It is really just that simple. Just set your miter saw to 30 degrees, pick a size that you want, cut all your pieces, one piece shorter than the other, measure your base, cut that, and measure the foot for the tree as well. And after that then you can finish it, you can spray paint these, paint them any colour you want, you can keep the natural wood colour, make them from all different kinds of hard wood, put everything you want in them, lights, LEDs, candles, whatever, the sky's the limit, you can hang baubles in them, and they do really look good. I especially like the hardwood versions when you put a nice finish on them. And you can see the difference now. That's just a couple of inches. By making your pieces a couple of inches bigger or 50mm bigger, these are 200mm, these are 150mm, so that's 6-inch pieces as opposed to 8-inch pieces. And you can see just how large it gets. And you can make these nesting if you wanted. Again, sky's the limit, fill your boots, whatever you want to do. They're so easy to batch these out. You can make them from 4x2s, 2x4s, pine, hardwood, whatever scrap you have. You can make big ones for the garden. Same principle, just use screws rather than brad nails. The bigger you get, the more support you're going to want. So yeah, that's it. We'll leave that for a minute. We'll come back to it, get a finish on it, and do a bit of decorating on it. Now, let's get on and make our star. Again, nice and simple. Once we get set up and we understand what we're doing here, it's quite easy indeed. Let's do that. Right guys, we are back at the miter saw. Now, we have 2 angles that we have to cut here. One is at 36 degrees and one is at 54 degrees. So I'm going to start by cutting everything at 36 degrees. So my miter saw is now set to 36 degrees. I have a stop block set up at just over 150 millimeters. Or just about 6 inches. The first star I made was at 200 millimeters or 8 inches. So we make this one slightly smaller. Now just cut everything at 36 degrees. We're going to cut 5 pieces. So we have 5 long and 5 short. So I'm going to show you how you get the measurements for these so you can make it any size with very little thinking involved. Because there's a lot of angles in this and it can be a bit tricky, but we'll remove all the thinking out of this if we can. So first thing we're going to do is cut all these at 36 degrees. So my first cut, I'll just put a 36-degree cut in this. I'll slide it along to my stop and just cut 5 of these 36 degrees. And when that's done, then we can put a 54-degree cut on these. It'll all make sense in a minute, trust me. Okay guys, here's our 5 long pieces, all with 36-degree cuts in both sides. Now we have to change one of these 36 degrees to 54. So I have just moved the miter saw now over to 54 degrees. And I've just put in a block here which has a 30-degree cut on it. So this was one of the waste pieces off the end of one of these. And what that allows me to do then is just to set that piece in there like that. Those two angles set back together perfectly. I can hold that like that, and I can cut a 54-degree angle in here now. So nice, quick and easy. Just run all 5 of these through this and chop a 54-degree in one side, and we have the 30-degree in that side. And that just allows me to make sure that all of these are exactly the same length. We have to keep all these 5 pieces precisely the same length. So setting that up there will allow us to do that. So that's our next task, is just with our 5 long pieces, put a 54-degree angle cut in the end of them. Let's do that. Right guys, so there is our 5 long pieces. Again, 30-degree angle on this side, 54-degree angle on this side. These are all identically the same size. Now we're going to make our shorter pieces, and they're identical to these, just a little bit on the shorter side. Now how do we get the measurement for our short pieces? And this is the beauty of doing it this way. No matter how big you make your star, what thickness material you're using, just do this and you won't have to do any calculations, you won't have to do any drawings, any geometry, any of that kind of stuff. You're going to measure your 54-degree angle, this width here. So from this corner to here, and if I measure that, that is exactly 27 millimeters. So that's exactly what I have. I'm working in metric here now. So whatever you guys are using, whether you're using imperial or metric, you measure that from corner to corner on your 54-degree angle. That's 27 millimeters. So all I have to do now is subtract 27 millimeters from the length of these, and that will be the size of my short pieces. So your short pieces are your long pieces minus that width of that angle there. That makes sense. That's all you have to do. So you don't have to do any complicated drawings to figure out all the angles and all the size of all your pieces beforehand. That's all you have to do. Make your long pieces, measure that, take that from your short pieces, and you're good to go. So I'll get on and cut 5 more pieces now. Like I said, they'll be identical to these, 30 degrees, 54 degrees. They will just be 27 millimeters shorter now. Okay, very quickly, I'll just show you this. I have my short pieces here now, but they have just a 34-degree cut on both sides of them at the minute. So just to make this easier to measure, I've just taken one of my long pieces from this corner back to here. I measured back 27 millimeters. That's the bit I have to reduce these by. I've just put a line there, and I can take this piece, stand it on that like that, make sure those two 34-degree angles are nice and flushed up, and then just transfer that line up. And that's where my 54-degree angle needs to end on this piece right here. So I'll set this up on the miter saw, cut this one, and I can use this then to set up for the rest of them, and just set my stop block and batch them out, and we'll be good to go. We'll jump back in then. Okay guys, all our pieces are cut. We have our 5 short and our 5 long with a 34-degree angle and a 54-degree angle. So this is how they go together, nice and simple. Take a long piece, 54-degree angle that way, put our 54-degree angle of our short piece up against it like that. Take another long piece, sorry, that goes that way, like that, get it wrong straight away. 34 of our 2 long pieces go together. 54 of our short pieces go together. So we need another long piece there, 30 to 30, short piece, 54 to 54, long piece, 34 to 34, Again, sharp piece, just repeat this the whole way around. 34 to 34, 54 to 54. And if our angles are all good, we should be pretty good. Now, this all depends on how well your miter saw is set up and how accurate your miter saw is. So take a bit of time just to try and get your miter saw as accurate as you possibly can. It's quite hard to get all these to line up perfectly. It depends, like I said, how good your blade is, how square you're cutting, how true your miter saw is. That's it roughly there now, so you can see how it all goes together. And don't worry if you end up with a few gaps here and there. Once we can get this thing pinned together, we can take a bit of sawdust, we can fill some gaps, and we can hide all that. So don't beat yourself up too much if you can't quite get your angles to match. Don't give up on it. Like I said, when this is glued up and we have a few brad nails and stuff in it, we should be good to go. Now, I have a little jig made up for assembling this, so let's get assembling and I'll show you. It's nice and simple. Okay, here's the jig, nice and simple, just a couple of straight pieces of MDF, brad nail to another piece of MDF, just to hold the pieces in place while I get some brad nails into the star itself. Now, first thing we want to do is join all our 34 to 34 degree angles, because they're all the internal ones, and obviously you can't get your brad nailer internally inside in your star. So the first thing you want to do is join all these. So if I just take that, slide them in there, that's it. It just holds my corner together for me now. So all I did was take this, set it up like that, put two straight pieces on this side, nail them down, two straight pieces on the back, nail that down, and that'll just hold that in place like that, so I can get some glue on it and shoot a few brad nails into it. Nice and simple. So first thing to do, like I said, is join all the 34 to 34 degree angles together first. Okay, now all the 34 degree angles are together. The second part of my jig just allows me to put the 54 degree angles together, just like that. So I can put a bit of glue on them now, and we can brad nail from the outside on these joints, and we can join all those around. So let's get on and do that. Wonderful. One star. So now you can see why it's important to do your 34 degree angles first, because obviously they're internal and you can't get at them, and then you can just make your jig up and do your 54 degree angles next. Lovely jubbly. Okay guys, there we go, that's the star made. It is just that simple. Once you get your angles right, set your miter saw up properly, 34 and 54 degree angles. Just decide on the dimensions of your long sides first, measure that 54 degree angle, minus that from the short side. That gives you your short side dimension then, and you don't require any maths, any drawings or any geometry to plan this out first. Just like I said, pick a dimension for your long side, measure the 45 or the 54 degree angle, and then that gives you the dimension of your short side, and it all goes together nice and simple, just like that. Now I'm going to let that glue set up, stop pulling out of it there. It's only just gone together. The brad nails will hold together while the glue sets up, and just like nice and simple. And again, you can make these any size you want. You can make nesting ones, you know, it's very, very simple. Make them big, make them small, fill them full of baubles. So I'm going to get on, I'm actually going to make a few more of these now. Got to sand them up, I get a finish on them, then we'll start putting some lights and stuff in them and some decorations. And yeah, we're just about there. Okay guys, I'm more or less finished. I've just put a little bit of finish on the oak ones, a little bit of Danish oil. They turned out great, and like I said, it's a good way to use up some old oak flooring. I've made an extra star, another little smaller Christmas tree, so I've a couple of different sizes. I've added some decorations too, just to give you guys an idea. Candles, holly, that kind of thing. LED fairy lights, just with the battery packs. They're nice and easy, just a couple of staples, staple them in place, and they're good to go. They look very effective. You can leave them plain, don't have to put anything in them. You can add candles to them, all that good stuff. So yeah, that's it. It's just about there now. Like I said, these are nice and simple, easy to batch out. It takes no time at all once you get set up, once you have your miter saw set up properly. They make lovely little Christmas decorations. And the hardwood ones especially do look really nice. So yeah, there you go. Hi guys, there we go, all finished. Some Christmas decorations ready for Christmas time, some nice trees and some nice stars. And like I said, super simple to make and easy batch these out. So hopefully you've enjoyed that video guys, hopefully you got something out of it, and hopefully it inspired you guys to get out and make something yourselves. So give the video a thumbs up guys, that really helps me out a lot. Comments, questions below. If you interact with the video, it helps me out with the YouTube algorithm, and it helps YouTube promote the video to other people. So that really is the best way you guys can help me out, just by giving the video a thumbs up. That would be great. Now, that's it guys, I'm going to get out of here now. I think it's time for a beer, or maybe a nice hot whiskey. The festive season is rapidly approaching. I shall see you next one guys. Mind yourselves, take it easy.